apologize for those that are in line. Place 6 is anxious to get up here. Yes, ma'am. Your name and address.
My name is Gail Ramsey, and I live at 1610 Lancaster. And I retired here in 2006 from Houston. And I've seen communities under great stress from the building and development community. And I am concerned about the fact that we seem to have a lot of that and some real concern among many of you, as well as my group, which is Castle Forest, about how these decisions are reached when it comes to push and shove between residential interests and commercial interests. San Marcos, I would say, is going to grow no matter what. It can't be stopped. But we need smart, concerned, and appropriate growth. And Mr. Thomason, I have a question for you. My understanding is that you were vice chairman of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I'm currently in vice chair.
Would you please tell us about some of the hard decisions you had to make between interests of residential community versus commercial and zone changes that would affect them?
There was one last Tuesday at the last meeting, and it didn't go to a vote, but there was a case on the corner of Range Road 12 where there's two properties side by side, one on the corner and then the one next to it. About, I would say 90% of the neighbors came out against the zoning change from single family to community commercial. And under community commercial, I'll give everyone a background, you could have had a Dollar General there. You know, you could have had much wider, less impact, but you could have had some things that would have very negatively affected the neighbors. And it's on record. I mean, even when we watched the video, I told them that I would not support community, or I didn't think that they were going to get much traction with community commercial. If they wanted to change that corner to commercial, they may have some neighborhood support for office professional. The corner of a major and minor arterial is eventually at some point going to be some form of commercial, or probably a rent house. And a lot of people aren't going to like that, but I would rather have a doctor's office or a CPA behind me than a rent house that could have anyone in it.
Okay, thank you. We ran out of time there.
Sorry.
Lisa, would you like to respond?
Yes, I appreciate. I'm from Houston also originally. I was recruited to come here as a Bobcat a couple decades ago. And in terms of growth, it's vital that we have the basic services. There's no reason we should have undue stress when it comes to fire, EMS, and our police force. We need to make sure that they're adequately, we have adequate personnel and not undue stress on people who put their lives on the line daily. I think code enforcement, we need to be very mindful. I've talked to small businesses in this community who want a sign that's been grandfathered in, and they just want to put some lights on the sign. But the code says no. Yes, we understand the grandfather clause, but the new code says no. So now you're going to have to purchase a whole new sign a couple of feet back. To me, that's unreasonable to small businesses. Some of these ways that we deal with small businesses when we're giving large corporations $500,000 when we should be working with our small businesses. So it's very basic logic like this that perplexes many of us in this community. So I would allow small businesses to prosper, but also have a larger mindset of the basic necessities that we need to make sure that we ensure here in San Marcos.
Thank you. Mr. Maycock?
I actually lost track of the actual question. Could you ask
I apologize. I asked specifically Mr. Thomason because he is from the real estate community and because we as neighbors have been very concerned and had reason to be concerned of these decisions that come up on planning and zoning and before council about whose side are you going to take and how proud of you would be. Now, since you have not served on council, I guess you'd have to tell us.
Well, yes, ma'am, and this is how I can answer that question. Neighborhood integrity is very important. It's what protects your property rights when you buy a home. I'm sure you're very aware of that. You know, it's very sad when you start seeing apartment complexes, Dollar Generals, small convenience, not really convenience stores, but you know, like Dollar General type stores, moving right in the middle of the communities. Is that the type of infrastructure you're talking about? You know, I'm on the sides of the neighborhoods with that. I don't want to buy a house in a neighborhood where I have to worry about an apartment complex going up next door that's going to be full of, you know, all types of people, heavy traffic on the streets. I have to worry about my kids getting hit by cars. So you're asking what side I'd be in. I'm on the neighborhood side when it comes to that particular issue. And thank you for the question.
Thank you, Dennis.
Okay, thank you. We have our